We're gonna find the prime factorization. Anytime, whenever you gonna be finding the prime factorization, you're gonna use prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that are divisible by themselves and 1. On this case, number 2. You can divide it only by 2 and 1. Same thing is number 3. For number 3, you can divide it by itself and 1. The same thing happens to number 5. You can divide it only by 5 and 1. And the list doesn't end, right? The next number should be 7, the next one 11, the next one 13, the next one 17, and so on. So anyway, let's start by finding the prime factorization. So I always like to divide by the smallest number. So in this case, I'm gonna start by dividing 50 by 2. When I divide, I like to write the number that I'm using to divide on the left side. And then the answer will be always on the right side. On this case, 50 divided by 2, I'm gonna get 25. And if I can divide by 2, the next number is 3. But I can divide by 3, so I'm gonna divide by 5. So dividing by 5, the answer should be 5. And then what we're gonna do now is to go back to 50 and double check that we got the right answer. Or what we're gonna do is multiply the prime numbers. 5 times 5 is gonna be 25 times 2, that's how you get 50. So then the answer should be, that'll be 2 times 5. We have two of them, or that will be 2 factors. So then we're gonna write 5 to the second power. Okay, so this will be the answer. The next number is gonna be now number 27, and we do the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna divide by 2. I don't think I can divide by 2. It should be 3. Okay, if I divide by 3, the answer should be 9. Okay, and I can divide 9 by 3, so the answer is gonna be 3. Okay, so then I wanna double check my answer, and I'm gonna be multiplying using all the prime numbers. 3 times 3, that would be 9, times 3, that would be 27. So the answer for this should be 3 to the third power. That's how many 3's we have in the answer. 1, 2, 3, so it's 3 to the third power. Okay, the next number is gonna be 90. And one more time, I'm gonna divide this by 2. When I divide by 2, the answer should be 45. Okay, now I'm not going to be able to divide by 2, so I'm going to check the next number. The next number is going to be 3. When I divide by 3, the answer is going to be 15. And because I can still divide by 3, I'm going to keep dividing by 3. So divide by 3, the answer is going to be 5. Now to check that I got the right answer, I'm going to be multiplying all the prime numbers. 5 times 3, that would be 15, times 3, that would be 45, times 2, that would be 90. So the prime factorization, I have 2 to the first power, I have only 1 2, right, in this multiplication. That will be times 3 to the second power. You have 2 factors, right? And then it's going to be times 5 to the first power. You only have one number 5. We don't really write the exponent when the exponent is 1. So that would be the answer. Okay. Now, the next one, 240. I need to find the prime factorization. I'm going to start with number 2. And when you divide by 2, you're cutting this in half. So we are getting 120. Then we're gonna keep dividing by 2. The answer should be 60. And I'm gonna keep dividing by 2 as many times as possible. All right. So 60 divided by 2. The answer is gonna be 30. Can you see that you can still divide by 2? So if you divide by 2, then the answer is gonna be 15. And the last one, can you see that I'm not able to divide by 2 anymore, but I can divide by 3? The answer is going to be 5. Now to check that I got the right answer, I'm going to multiply all the prime numbers. So now I'm going to go backwards. 5 times 3 is 15, times 2, that will be 30, times 2, that will be 60, times 2, that will be 120, times 2, that will be 240. So yeah, this is the right answer. Now, number 2, how many factors do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be 2 to the 4th power times 3 times 5. And that will be the answer. Okay. Now that we finished this one, let's work with the next one, which is going to be 180. So one more time, I'm going to start by dividing this by 2. 180 divided by 2, the answer should be 90. Okay. Then the next step, I'm gonna keep dividing by 2 as many times as possible. Okay, if I can still divide by 2, that's what I'm gonna do. On this case, 90 divided by 2, that will be 45. And can you see that I'm not able to divide by 2 anymore? So the next number is gonna be 3. If I can divide by 3, then the next number is gonna be 5. But on this case, yes, I can divide by 3. If I divide this by 3, then I'm gonna get 15, and I can still divide by 3. The answer is gonna be 5. Can you see now that all these numbers are prime numbers? To get the answer, I'm gonna multiply all these prime numbers, and I'm gonna go backwards to double check that I got the right answer. So multiply 5 times 3, you get 15, times 3, that would be 45, times 2, that would be 90, times 2, that would be 180. So yes, the answer then should be, I have 2, I have 2 factors, so it's going to be 2 to the 2nd power. Then it's going to be times 3. One more time, you have 2 factors, that will be 3 squared. And the last one, that will be times 5. So this is the prime factorization, so that is the answer. And now let's do the last one. Okay, one more time, you're gonna be dividing by 2. So we're gonna cut it in half, right? So shouldn't that be 150? And I can divide by 2, so I'm gonna keep dividing by 2. If I divide 150 by 2, I'm gonna get 75. Oh, this is 7. It doesn't look like 7. So it's gonna be 75. And I can divide by 2, so the next number is gonna be 3. So if I divide by 3, I'm gonna get 3. I'm gonna get 25. I can divide this by 2 or 3, but I can divide by 5. And all these numbers are prime numbers. Okay, so I want to double check to see if I got the right answer. 5 times 5, that would be 25, times 3, that would be 75, times 2, 150, times 2, that would be 300. So then the answer should be 2 to the second power. I have two factors. Then it will be times 3, and then times 5 to the second power. And that's how we're gonna get the answer. The answer is gonna be this right here, the prime factorization. Okay, and that's it.